Hello everybody, it is Brooke with the Junk Parlor. Welcome to my channel. Today we are in my laundry room. This is going to be part one of the laundry room redo. So here is the current state of the laundry room. There was a metal closet bar essentially. I took that off the wall. We patched in some holes. And then this is the original color, and then this is the color that we have in the living room. A huge difference in color. So we did buy a new washer and dryer when we moved into this house, and this space here, you can see what these are, probably 12-inch tiles. Right now there's a decent amount of space right here, but when we moved in, their washer and dryer set off the wall probably like this, probably over a foot. The reason being is because the hole down there for the dryer vent is up off of the wall, and if you get the coil thing to snake, then you just had to keep the dryer out away from the wall. So that meant that the washer and dryer, you probably had 2 tiles to walk right here, and I absolutely hated it. It was so claustrophobic. And also in the beginning, there's a little hole here, and you can see pencil marks. And that's because at one point we did hang up a wood shelf low here to kind of hide that 1 foot, 18-inch space in the back. So what I did to kind of try and deal with that issue is I put the dryer up on 2x4s. I really had envisioned making a platform and setting it up on the platform. But when I got to working on it, it was like I didn't have the right tools. Not having my dad across the road, I couldn't just have somebody help me. And so what I ended up doing was 2 2x4s, jacked up the washing machine enough so I could line the hole up directly with the dryer and not need any coil piece. But then it makes it look like this. I did not even get the washer all the way up because, again, I didn't have any tools, and I think these 2x4s just happened to be the right size to fit under the dryer. Now, I could do a platform at this point. Again, I do not have the right tools, and it's really hard to lift a washer and or a dryer and shove things underneath it at the same time. So when it's a one-woman show, it's very interesting. So I am just jerry-rigging it and making it work. At this height, the feet were already like this. I don't remember why Matt made them so tall, because almost I could take the feet off or suck the feet in and put a third 2x4 there. Or I could suck them in a little bit and have enough room for plywood to make a riser like I had intended. But on the washer side, it moves a little bit, right? When the clothes are uneven, especially when the kids are doing their laundry. And so the 2x4s are always slip sliding around. So I definitely need to do something. I was just kind of waiting, honestly, until I had either an epiphany or I got in the mood to paint, because I just want to tackle it all at once. And then I am kind of torn about this cabinet. So the cabinet is my grandma's old kitchen cabinet. I haven't told my husband yet, but I think I might either, one, I want to lower it down. That was my initial thought process. I never come in this room because I don't do laundry. Hubby does it. And so I never get to see anything that I have in here. And we're going to probably move in 3 years, and the person who buys the house isn't going to want to have this hanging up if it's not really staying. So you know what I'm saying here. I think I might just take this down and actually just go set it in our basement in the kitchenette It will fit in between the sink and the bar top. And then that way I can use it for decorating. It'll make a good backdrop for my live videos. And then we can just hang either artwork or open shelving in here so that it's permanent for when we do list the house. And months ago when I did this, I thought I would try and buy a little cabinet that would fit in here. It's only about 5 inches. And then on this side, I think it's maybe a little bit more. But then I decided, no, I'm not gonna try and jerry rig something. So one idea is that I could just do command strips and hang different things like my duster or some of my bottles, like cleaning supplies in there, a basket for the dryer sheets, etc. Or I could do a long towel bar, something like this one in my bathroom, which I don't want anyway, because all of your bottles will just hook on it. So that is another idea, because I do keep a lot of cleaning supplies in the laundry room. This cream board we popped off when we did the built-ins, and then I just kept it in case I wanted it. So it is almost the perfect height to, like, if I had the washer up, but if I screwed it into the 2x4s, then it would make the front of the machine look better. However, you would still see this big opening. So then I've debated on running this trim along the side as well. But again, I don't have the right tools, so it's more on if I can convince my neighbor to do some cuts for me or figure out another way to jerry rig it. I'm just not sure. And the longer I've looked at these 2x4s, the less they bother me. And I think if I painted them and everything was level here or even here, it would bother me less. All right, 100 hours later, I got the 2x4 switched around. So on the top, I put a long one, and then on the washer side, I screwed those in because I felt like it needed it. On the dryer side, I did not. I also got the boards here in the back level a little bit more. And so now I think I'm gonna see what it looks like to do trim just here in the front. I don't think I'm gonna worry about the side. And then if the trim isn't gonna work out, because honestly, the height here is different, which I didn't even think about, I might just simply paint those 2x4s where they lay, just so they blend in a little bit better. If you have a better idea, I would love to hear it. And remember, I am no carpenter. I am just winging it with a chop saw. Okay, I think the paint has dried. It's been a little bit. The cleat I had on the wall, I don't even know how it tore off probably 1/4 of an inch of mud off the drywall, which it shouldn't have been that thick anyway. So I'm probably gonna need to patch this again, as well as this spot, unless I just cover it up. But then you can see there was some, I don't know, I thought it was just like staining and discoloration from the cabinet that I had here, but you can still see it after one coat. So I might end up just doing this section a second coat. The rest of it I think looks fine. I mean, there's some screw holes that you can see, but I don't really care. At first, I placed some painter's tape where the old screw holes were. However, our experience with this house is that the people maybe didn't find the studs, the builders. And so I just measuring 16 inches on center, nothing was lining up how it should have. So I went and found my stud finder and went ahead and just used it instead of trusting where this shelf had previously been screwed in. These are some scrapped baseboards that I brought from Centerville when we moved, and I had a handful of tan ones, I had a handful of chippy paint ones. Of course, one of the stained ones had a different pattern than the rest and was just a tad narrower, and so I'm studying here because the corners were not gonna line up nicely, or not gonna line up perfectly, but I just decided it doesn't matter, I will just center it. These are probably over 100 years old, so I did kind of study them, trying to pick ones with a similar stain color and, you know, the similar distressed to kind of pair up together, or at least be intentional about where I put what board. So while I think I've located my studs on this wall, I'm not really sure about placement. So I would like it to be low enough to kind of distract from the water hookups. I want it to be proportional to the window frame. And so I'm just trying to kind of study and figure out what I want to do. I have been lucky enough to work with a carpenter over the years, and one of the things that he taught me was to push the screw in, pull it back out, push it back in, pull it back out, and go back and forth. And that helps you from stripping or cracking the board that you're screwing into, and it makes it a little bit easier because I literally have to put my body into it to screw in things a lot of times. I find myself talking to myself a lot in this video, and it's just because I guess I'm thinking out loud, but I got these big hooks, which I shared with you in a vintage haul that I had, but they might be too big. I just couldn't decide. So I walked around placing them, and then when hubby came home, I made him hold them up for me too. We added hardwood floors in the living room, and then we refinished the hardwood floors throughout the house earlier this year. And a lot of the baseboards and trim got scuffed up when they were doing all the work.
and I keep telling myself to go back and touch up paint and fill nail holes, etc., but I haven't done that. So while I am painting the laundry room and working in this room, that I'm just going to go and do the trim in the whole house. Plus, here in the green, you can see Cash knocked over a football helmet. And then in the wintertime, the mudroom lockers pull away from the wall, and you can see the old white paint. So I want to touch that up too, so that it looks good year round. I don't always line my tray, but you can use aluminum foil to line the tray. I found that on these plastic trays, if you just let the paint dry, then normally it's just going to all peel off later anyway. But because I thought about it, I did go ahead and line this one with foil. We got home from wrestling late last night, and hubby walked in here and he was like, "Whoa!" And then I waited. Is that a good whoa or a bad whoa? Because I told him he was painting and I was painting, and obviously he had to help me take the cabinet down. But I didn't really kind of tell him what I was doing because honestly, I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I just knew I wanted to do something other than the cabinet. And then, what do you think? Did he like it? Surprisingly, he actually did. He said, "I like it." He held the hook up for me so I could kind of look and see if I liked it being out this far or if I wanted to get some different ones and go closer in. The problem is smaller ones limits what I can hang, and I'm thinking hanging a basket for dirty clothes, hanging a bucket to put our Tide Pods in, hanging a basket or something to hang our dryer sheets, and then do some like decor pieces too. So I don't know. I maybe will do a combination. I was just down in the basement looking for the little twisted wire hooks that I've saved. I don't have very many of them left, but I have been hoarding them, but I can't find what tote I put them in. So probably just gonna vacuum one more time in here and then start some laundry because we haven't done laundry for a few days. And in our house, you have to do laundry every single day. So we are behind. Okay, here is the current situation. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm really torn. I thought this was going to look amazing. And not that I don't like it. Oh, I don't know. I don't love it. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. But all I ended up doing was just putting nails in here because I'm like, you can't see them anyway. It's quick. There's already a ton of holes in these boards, so who cares? I just don't know. I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. Are you liking the direction we're going with? And that's one of the things that I should point out too. It's like, it is the direction I'm going in. So I feel like you put other things in a room and it makes it tile together, where when you are missing some elements, it might seem a little bit off. So sometimes I'll just decorate the whole space and then live with it for a couple months and then pivot. And then I also try to not prejudge what I just did until I have decorated the rest of the space, which tomorrow is Thursday. I always go thrifting on Thursdays. A lot of times I take you with me. I share with you how I style my finds. I share with you my haul and I give you prices. So if you want to purchase things from me. So if you don't watch those hauls, you should. When I go out tomorrow, I can be looking for some things for in here. I'd also thought maybe about doing a shelf right there, or even a ledge to lean artwork on. I don't know. I'm wanting to keep it easy, so I think doing anything else makes it more complicated. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Make sure you click subscribe and ring that bell so that you can get notified of when part 2 comes out.